Folks, I've got the current reigning FLW Cup champion, Jacob Wheeler, here on the phone with me. Jake, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Doing well. I'm excited about going over to Shreveport in about a week and see if you can make it a repeat and become the first guy to ever win two FLW Cups, Forest Wood Cups. Uh, you won it last year on a deep Clearwater fishery, but you ran way up the river. Followed you up there and you ran up the river and fished it. Like a river. And this year you go into a river system. Does that play to your strengths? Do you like the Red River and you like your odds there?
I mean, I do. I think I do like the Red River. I like the way it's set up. It's going to be a tough fishery. It's going to be very mental. People don't realize how mental fishing is, and this one's going to really come down to who can keep their head in the game 100% of the day, 100% every single day. So one fish, you lose one key fish throughout the tournament, it can totally mess you up and spin you out. So keeping your head in the game is going to be super important in this event. To win an event like the Forcewood Cup, it's all about having those four perfect days, keeping your head in the game the whole time, and basically fishing flawlessly for 4 days. I mean, when it's your time to win, it's your time to win. And going into that event and having pure confidence in what you're doing is super important in making that happen.
Well, last year you may have snuck under some people's radar. I mean, everybody knew you were a good fisherman. You were a young guy. I don't think many people expected that level of success out of you that early on, especially to be, as wily as you were about it and on Lanier and go up to the Chattahoochee there and do what you did and then come down and then put together a couple of, sight fish to top it off and make all that work out like you did. But this year, you kind of got a big bullseye on your back, I guess, if there is such thing in the fishing tournament world. Everybody knows who you are, and especially the media. We're going to hound you when you get out there next week. Heck, I'm already doing it now. Does that change? Does that change this experience? How are you approaching it this year differently than last year? Does it feel different?
I mean, it does. I mean, obviously being under the radar and last year going under the radar and being the underdog, if you will. Rookie, it was something that it wasn't too much. Obviously, it was like, hey, I wasn't supposed to catch him necessarily. I mean, if I caught him, yeah, it's great. But this year there's a lot more pressure on it. Hey, you're reigning Forcewood Cup champion. You're going out there. Now I'm 22, and I've learned a lot over the years. Every year you learn so much. Last year's Cup was a learning experience, and be able to learn how to get used to the media and be able to be efficient on the water and be able to communicate with the media at the same time and be able to fish and stay focused the whole time. And so, I mean, I think there is some differences. It's not as much of a shock if you do well, but I still like, it still has that feeling that hey, it's going to happen. There's a Forest Wood Cup, it's a world championship, and it's just exciting. It really is.
Talk to me a little bit about technique, pattern, lures. You think about the Red River in August, and it sounds really simple, and you kind of put it all in one little box, and you got your flipping, your square bills. It's all shallow water stuff. Most people assume. Do you have any oddball ideas on how you might fish this river that something that everybody else might miss that you can have all to yourself, or do you just plan to go in and stick with the basic summertime tactics?
I think you have to have some. You obviously have to have basics on your deck. Okay, you're going to have your shallow run crankbaits, your flipping sticks with some, your tree rack bugs and all that general stuff that you do in the river. But there are going to be some stuff that'll play. One thing that I feel like will probably play in this tournament. You'll probably see some fish caught on an A-rig. A lot of locals down there do not throw that pretty much, but the guys in FLW are very good at it. They understand it, and we have the best of the best at throwing A-rig in FLW that know this thing backwards and forwards, and they're going to find a way to catch them on it. They definitely have eaten it down there, but most of the time, it's just down to river fishing. Hey, keep your head in it. You're going to pick up. You might be throwing the exact same thing as the other guy, but being able to stay efficient and flip the same stump, 40 times throughout the day in that same backwater, trying to get that one bite off of it. I think it's not necessarily going to be about technique. It's going to be about the mental aspect more than anything other than that. I mean, just keep putting a bait in your hand that you have 100% confidence in. The guy who's going to win this style will have a whole bunch of confidence in the baits that he's throwing. He's going to be able to put those in his hand and fish them all day. And if he gets 5 bites, it's great because he loves what he's doing. He's confident in that. And if you're confident, that's the only way to fish those grind tournaments. Have a bait that you're 100% confident in. You know what it does. You know when it's acting right. You know when it's not acting right. And going fishing for 5 bites.
So let's go back to that umbrella rig for a minute, because that is an interesting thought. And you think about where all the fishing takes place this time of year there. Is that something that obviously, I mean, you're going to want to use on main river points and out toward where there's some current a little bit more as opposed to further back?
Yeah, that's going to be potential for backwaters too. You know, a lot of the backwater has a lot of shad, schools of bait fish. Yeah, the main river will play a role, but a lot of people, there's a lot of bigger fish down those backwaters. They live back there. The shad stay back there year round. There's a lot of deep water, and they live there all year. So I think that it'll play both in the backwater around like the shallower flats, some of the deeper water structure, some of those backwaters on those little tree lines. Also on the main river, yeah, rock points, mouse rock points, anywhere the current's going to be flowing, anywhere that current's going to push that bait, that's going to be another place where that area could play. For sure, those are the two prime areas that it'll play in.
And do you need current, or would a good strong breeze do it back in some of these flat areas?
No, you know what? I think sometimes, a breeze is important. Anytime you have a little weather change, especially on the Red River in the summer, anytime in the summer with a weather change, whether it's a front or a little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of rain, that always helps the bite. It definitely helps the area bite. But I think you catch them all day long, regardless if it's sunny or cloudy, because it's just the fish are eating shad a lot of times in those backwaters, and if they're eating it, they see that area coming by with 5 baits, moving and shaking, and you got blades on that thing and everything else. Hey, they're just going over there and chomping on it.
Now, the Red River in general, I mean, it's a big old sprawling fishery. The tournament waters are divided into 3 different pools. You got a couple of locks cutting you up, cutting your time down there, and there's a chance for somebody to go separate himself physically as well as, on the leaderboard from the rest of the crowd if he's got confidence in his equipment, his boat, his motor, to get him down there, get him back, and make the run. Speak to me a little bit about your E-Tech and how that gives you the confidence that you need to make those bold moves.
I think the biggest thing with my E-Tech, first thing when I get it from the Ranger factory, I do not have to worry about breaking it in. I can take it out there, drop it in the water. In 3 years, I don't have to worry about any dealer maintenance, scheduled dealer maintenance. I don't have to worry about that. So for an angler or for someone that's just buying a boat, look, I can pick this thing up. I pick a brand new boat up. I just bought it. 3 years, I don't have to worry about that. 300 hours. So that's important, knowing that you can go out there and enjoy yourself and have fun. Don't have to worry about idling for hours. That's important. And then to know that I can run full board when I get a boat, run straight out, run wide open to the spot that I'm going to go to, not have any issues. That's time on the water is priceless. And being able to get to the spots and back is important. To know that I don't have an issue with that, know that the 2 last years not having an issue, never having that motor ever cost me in a tournament, that's what I hang my hat on. That's right there is the difference between me getting there or not getting there. And so if I'm going to put something on the back of my boat, the Evinrude E-Tech, hands down, is going to get me there and get me there back safe.
Good deal, good deal. Jack, we hope it does that for you next week. We're sure, that's one thing, like you say, you can cross off your worry list. You got confidence in your equipment.
Exactly.
We all got confidence in your skill. You've shown us before you know how to do this, man. Hey, good luck out there next week, buddy. We'll see you over in Shreveport.
I really appreciate it.